Greetings, Earthlings. Planet Mitch, founder, chief astronomer, chief excitement officer. I got all kinds of names. Over at giveawayrocket.com, where we bring you lots of great stuff about running contests to grow your email list and to grow your leads. And of course, it's Monday morning and April Fool's Day. And first thing is my nose starts itching. That's normal for me. Anyway, it is fun time, right? It is April 1st. We are supposed to launch a whole bunch of campaigns today in the Win Together program. And guess what? Nobody's ready. Not even me. I might actually launch my campaign today. One of two. I think I'm going to launch two, but I haven't even gotten the second one started yet. So if you don't know about the Win Together program, that is where we are bringing people on to teach them how to run awesome campaigns, to build their email list, to grow their bottom line. And that's really cool. We're going to do it again, I think, starting May 1st. Haven't quite decided when we're going to start. Learning lots by working together with people and figuring out what works and what doesn't work in terms of building contests together. It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm doing a lot of learning as well as teaching people. I'll give you some feedback from them in a day or two. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on a summit. I'm going to record it. It's going to be a recording. I'm going to talk about contests and building your campaigns. That's going to be fun. I'm going to be doing that with Crazy Bob from the 808 podcast. And look forward to seeing that later in April if you're interested in watching that. Of course, I'll be letting you know when it's available. Interesting question for the day. And if you're out there watching, please comment and like and love and do all that social media share stuff. Much appreciated, of course. Question came up in the upViral group. Actually, it started yesterday. Somebody can't come up with his name. Why can I never come up with people's names? Do you have that problem? Anyway, the question was asked, well, do you do a widget in upViral with 1 page or 2 pages? And I replied, I don't do a widget. And Bradley, I can come up with Bradley's name. Bradley replied, I don't do a widget. I do an upViral lead page. Hosted, as they call them. So the question became this morning, what's better? And there's, of course, no single answer. But let's see if I can share my desktop. Make sure I'm going to the right place before I do that, because I don't want to be showing you anything inappropriate, right? And I also have to turn off my Haze Over app so that I can make sure that I can see everything's working okay. Here is an example. And I am not, before I get started, I am not saying anything negative about this. It's just a different way of doing things. I have my opinions about whether it works well or not. But and I know you're going to find this shocking, I am not the guy that knows absolutely every answer on the planet. And it all depends. That's my second answer, is it all depends. And I'm not talking about the adult diapers. Somebody shared this campaign. Again, I don't know names, and it's Greek to me. I can say that because I think it is Greek. I translated it with Google Translate, of course. So this, don't be blaming anybody about English issues, because this is translated. But so this particular instance that was shared asking for feedback is an upViral widget, which you see right here on the page. And so my comment is that I think, well, let me just also show you. Here's my contest that I'm working on and I'm not satisfied with the way this looks with the double images and stuff. So I'm just kind of roughing this out. But notice, in my opinion, there aren't any distractions here. There is an image of the prize, there is discussion of the prize in a sign-up form, and some additional information, and there is one link that takes you over to the store. Now, this is my wife's product. We're starting to figure out if we can market this. And anyway, but there's one link that takes you away from this page, and it's after the fold, right? It's after the sign-up form. On this particular campaign, what is the first thing that somebody sees when they come to the page? Well, they see the headers, they see some menus, there's a contest menu, become a premium member, earn a 4-day trip to Rome for 2 people, that's a header, right? Headline. But then what is this? This is an Google AdWords ad. Now, no offense to the person that created this, but I don't think putting an ad on a giveaway is the right thing. I want people to be entering my contest. I don't want them going somewhere else and saying, oh, I want to go see same-day plumbing from Mr. Reuter. I want them to read about the contest. Now, the video's okay, because the video's going to explain, I think, about the contest going to Rome. 2 parts of our contest, blah, blah, blah. How do I win the trip? Good information over here. Here's the widget. Now, this section, my opinion, is that you don't explain to them on the lead page that they can earn extra points. That's for page 2. That's for the share page. Now, maybe this widget just stays on this page, in which case they need that. But I typically would say, don't give them a whole lot of information about the sharing side of things until they see the share page or the share widget. So I wouldn't have any of that. So here's a nice picture, blah, 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 of Rome, I guess. But then there's all of these distractions down here at the bottom of the page. There's this pop-up over here to ask questions, which potentially would maybe be good on a contest page. But to me, it feels like there are way too many distractions. My goal of creating the contest is to get people to sign up for the contest, which puts them on my email list. It's not to show them ads. It's not to show them my entire website. It's not to distract them with other possible things. My goal is to get them to sign up. If you look at this page, that's the only thing they can do here. There's no distractions about going to somewhere else except for my one link to the store. But I include that because I want people to realize that this is a real thing. This is a store. This is a thing that we're trying to offer. I put that link in there, not to get people to go buy, but to build the authority, right? That's part of the process. And the giveaway terms and all that kind of stuff is to try to build authority. So again, I'm not finished with this page yet and don't really like the way it looks right now, but there aren't distractions here. You either come in here and you go, oh, this is cool, I'm going to enter to win, or you go away. So that's my thoughts on whether or not you should use a widget. Now, there are ways to create a page like this in another tool. ClickFunnels, Convertri, all kinds of other page building tools where you could embed a widget. But inside of that, my goal would be to keep it isolated such that that's the only thing they can do. I don't know. What do you think about this? Am I crazy or am I right on? Somebody tell me I'm right on, because that's what I really want, is people to tell me I'm right. No, that's not true. The point is to think about it, right? Maybe this way is the right way to do it for these people. And that's okay. I mean, I understand the discussion about authority, the discussion about SEO and getting people on the page and keeping them there. I understand keywords and all that kind of stuff in terms of SEO. But it feels to me that doing something in a contest, in a standalone page, even if it is just a page on their website that doesn't have all these distractions on it, would be a better solution. What do you think? Let me know. Comment below. Comment. Anybody there? Hello, I see there's 3 people there. What do you think? If you were running a contest, or if you were teased, about entering a contest for a trip to Rome, 4 days in Rome with free transfers and accommodations for 2 people, when you got to this page, what's your gut feel? Are you going to be finding the information you need and entering right away, or are you going to be confused and distracted because there's a lot of things? If this was a page that says enter a trip to Rome for 4 days and for 2 people, and there was some description, and then there's the sign-up form without all those other distractions, wouldn't you think that was the way to go? I think it is. I could be wrong. I was not born a marketer. I was born a photographer and filmmaker. I've come into this contest marketing thing because I love it, and I've learned a lot about it, and I think it's an awesome way of building a business. So, I'm going to switch back to my face. Emma, thank you for commenting. Emma Arnold in the house. Emma says, less distractions is better. Thank you. Yay. That's not the right one. Ooh. That's not the right one either.
Dad, you're always right.
Dad, you're always right. That's the one I was after. That's my kids. Thank you for that, Emma. I don't know that this is rocket science, right? I don't think this is really that difficult, but I think for the vast majority of marketing, what you want to do is single focus. Get people focused on your message. I was going to try to come up with an analogy. I talk a lot about the Coca-Cola commercials with the polar bears and the, and there's, in a TV commercial kind of environment, there aren't a lot of distractions, right? You're watching the TV, and people have remote controls, and they have other things that might take their attention away. But theoretically, if you're watching TV, you're just watching TV. There's not a little sidebar with scrolling widgets and all kinds of other stuff. So maybe that's not the perfect example. But I mean, if you look at a Facebook page, there are lots of distractions on a Facebook page, right? Especially on a desktop. It's a little bit better on your smartphone because, the vast majority of the body is just like your wall or your Facebook group that you're looking at. But there's also a footer at the bottom with little blinking lights that says, hey, look at me, look at me. There's all kinds of distractions that happen. They want you to be distracted, but all of those distractions are keeping you on Facebook. Anyway, so the second side of that question was, maybe I should go back to that. Let's go back to that. And let me take Emma's, and thank you again, Emma, for commenting. Bless your heart, being brave and throwing it out there. I really appreciate that. If this, so the question inside of upViral was, should you do a 2-page, if you're doing a widget, should you do the first page as a lead page and the second page as the share page? Or should you just do 1 page and just have the widget change? And maybe I should have come up with an example. My gut says that you should do 2 pages based on what I said before about distractions. I mean, if that's what they're trying to do over here on the right-hand side, trying to explain how you earn different points, and when you enter in this widget, well, let's just enter. What are they going to do to me? They might send me away. So I'm going to click on that. And so we did. We stayed on the same page. Now, Google Translate isn't translating inside the widget. It translated the page, but not inside the widget. So they're sharing Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and by email. But I don't know what these words say. I guess I could translate it. Let's see if we can get my Mac thing to translate it for me. I've forgotten where it is. There it is. Google. And there it is. Translate. This is taking way too long. I thought it was going to be much faster. But no, it's going over to Safari, and I didn't have Safari open, so Safari's taking a while to load. Alright, anyway, so these two phrases are possibly trying to explain this section on how to earn extra points. But my gut says you would be better off having 2 pages. The first page, I mean, in my case, with this contest that I'm going to do later, and I don't even remember whether I have the share page set up, but I'll put it in. I might not. Might not. It's not very fleshed out yet. But the point of having those 2 pages is that the first page is the lead page, gets them to convince to be signed up, and the second page is designed to get them to share. The whole intent of this page is to try to get people to share. The first thing we do is to get them to check their email because there's a bonus in there or whatever. But then the rest of this is trying to convince them to get their friends to sign up. That's the whole point. So in this scenario over here, with the 1-page sign up, where the share page and the lead page are the same, and only the widget changes, then you're trying to have to do 2 functions on 1 page. I don't think that's the best way to go. Maybe you do. That's okay. I'm not... Okay, I said best way. My opinion, that's purely my opinion. But my gut is telling me to make it simple. I think you might agree. I know Emma would agree. Less distractions are better, she said. Less distractions. So, when you're building your contest, the whole goal here is to make it simple. And I know sometimes we complicate the share page because we have potential for rewards. We're asking them to share. We're asking them to maybe go open their email like I did. There are plenty of distractions there, but all of it is designed to help them earn more entries, right? It's all about them. Granted, it's really for us because what we're asking them to do is helping us. But by giving them all these different opportunities, we're giving them chances to share. We're giving them chances to make or earn extra entries. And so that's the goal, right? We're helping them. We're helping ourselves. We're building our business. Or if we're doing this for a client, then we're helping to build their business, right? Emma says, I guess I'm falling in love with Emma. Thank you, Emma. I agree with 2 pages. 1 is confusing. Now, I am not bashing the gentleman people who created that page. There are plenty of ways of looking at the world. And my opinion, although it's always right, my opinion is just an opinion. It's based on what I think is valid suppositions and the experience of running over 70 campaigns. In fact, the only widget campaigns I've ever done are test campaigns. I've never built one for a client. That's how convinced I am that it's better to do a dedicated page than it is to try to confuse people. I've had that discussion with multiple clients, and just about every time what we do, we end up deciding is that page or the goal of that campaign is to get signups for our email list, and therefore we have a singular focus. We don't want to get them distracted. We don't want to send them to multiple places. If you need to give them information, then you put that information on the lead page. You don't say, go over here and see what we have to offer in our store. Although I did that in that particular case because it's the first time going to this particular audience with this particular offer. I'm doing that specifically to try to build some trust and authority. That's the only reason that's there. It's not to get them to go buy. I want them to sign up for the email list, and then once they're on the email list, we're going to get them to buy. That's the concept. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday. That's been 20 plus minutes of conversation on widgets and landing pages inside of contests. If you have ever desired to build your email list for your business, I firmly believe that you should be running a contest in order to help you build your list. There are incredible ways to build your email list. You're using viral tactics to get people to share. You're going out to audiences that have never seen your message before when people share it on their timelines. When people share things with them, not only on their timeline, but with their friends, potentially an email, you're using word of mouth. And word of mouth has shown in study after study after study to bring more revenue and to bring more authority. And if you think about what happens in social circles, right? If you're sitting around talking with a bunch of friends and you say, what restaurant should we go to? And somebody says, well, God, I love this particular restaurant. We all ought to go there. Or if you haven't been there, you should go there. How much authority does that bring along to that restaurant because that person recommended it to you? Lots. One study said 20% more likely to buy something from that particular vendor when somebody recommends it to you. What's the number one thing people do when they go to Amazon when they're thinking about buying a product? Yeah, that's right. They scroll down all the way to the bottom to see the reviews. Why? Because they want some social proof. They want some evidence that that thing is going to be what they need it to do. That's the kind of stuff we're doing inside the contests that we build. And if you don't know how to do that, then the contests that you may try are possibly or more likely going to fail. Bradley did a very nice video the other day and posted it in the upViral group, I think. Maybe it was only in my group. About not expecting to make money off of your first giveaway. You have to build authority. You have to build people's trust. We go back to that old adage of people don't buy the first time they see something new. It just doesn't happen. Okay, it does. I mean, it does. But the odds are you have to touch somebody 5, 7, 10, 15 times, getting them to understand what their product does that benefits you and how it's going to solve the problem you have before you buy. I'll go back to an example that in the camera world. 2-something years ago, Canon came out with a camera that was specifically designed for a small market. A lot of people panned it. A lot of people said, oh, that's a horrible product. I would never, ever freaking buy it. A friend of mine who said that publicly, said that's a terrible product. I would never, ever buy it. Looked at it multiple times, and 9 months later he came back to me and he said, Mitch, I just sold all of my other camera gear and I bought 2 of those things. I was wrong. I made a rash judgment right at the beginning and I was wrong. It's a perfect thing for me. It solves my problems. It helps me take less gear to the shoot. I have one purely as a backup, or I'm going to use 2 cameras to shoot a particular scene. Therefore, I know how they work. They're simple. It's less gear to take, and it solves my problem, which is what I was telling people when the camera came out. Hey, if you don't think this is for you, that's fine. Quit bashing the camera because it's designed for a specific set of people, a specific group of people to solve their problems. If that's not your problem, that's okay. We don't have to complain about everything that happens on the planet, although I think we typically do these days, and I'm guilty of it too, just like everybody else. I see something on Facebook and I'm like, I can't believe that. But if you sit and think and nurture, which is what happens when people buy products, how many of you have potentially come and watched me talk about contests, and the first time you're like, no, been there, done that, contests don't work, contests provide junk leads, blah, blah, blah. I've talked to multiple people that have said those kind of things, and the more they listen to me, the more they start to understand that I'm probably preaching the truth. Key is you have to understand the process. I mean, I'll go back and tell you. I mean, how many people have tried Facebook ads? Raise your hand, comment, tell me you've tried Facebook ads. The first time you did it, did you make a lot of money off of them? Did you get likes or shares on your page or your posts? I suspect. I know I've spent, don't tell my wife, don't tell her, but I spent over $1,000 on Facebook ads back in 2016 trying to get people to like my page and all that kind of stuff. Hey, there's Bradley with his video. The link to Bradley's video about not making money. I'm sure that's the one on your first campaign. The first Facebook ad campaign you ever did probably sucked a rock. The second one probably sucked a rock. But as you learned how to do it, as you took classes to learn how to do Facebook ads, they started working better. You started to understand the process. You started to understand, hey, Sharita, you started to understand, thank you for commenting, started to understand that there's learning involved. But once you understand as well, picking the right prize, building the right authority, getting in front of the right audience, finding the right traffic, then you start to understand how good contests can be. Bradley will attest. He's biased because he and I both are in this business. But we've learned through doing it that contests bring you awesome leads. Not every lead is going to be perfect. There are going to be people that sign up to do what? They just want to win the prize. They think it's free. So, hey, why not enter this? I'll turn around and sell it to somebody. Oh, you're going to get some of those. If you get the right prize, with the right lead page, with the right incentives, you're going to reduce the number of people that are going to sign up just to win it for free because they're going to want to have it. They're going to want to use it. They're going to want to change their lives because you've given them a product that works to solve their problems. That's why we're all here, right? That's why we're here, is to spread the message of our solution is the one that's going to help you solve your problem, whatever those problems are. Mine is list building. People constantly tell me that they don't know how to build a list. I have been there, by the way. I was thinking about it in the shower this morning, which is probably too much information. But when I was running my Planet 5D blog back in, started in 2008, okay, so 2008, 2009. I didn't discover the idea of an email list until something like 2011, 2012. And another website that I was helping to promote created a sign-up form on their webpage and gave away a free ebook. Woohoo! A free ebook. Not expensive, not hard to do, right? I still didn't do it. I didn't think I had the authority to build the right ebook. Those guys built a really good ebook. They had a little counter on their website that said how many people have signed up to their email list. Within a year, probably a year, I don't know exactly, I don't remember exactly anymore. But I remember looking at that and suddenly realizing that their email list was over 100,000, and they were kicking my butt in terms of traffic. People were going over there instead of coming to my website. So I quickly started learning about email lists and the value of getting people to sign up. That was 8, 9 years ago when I started learning those lessons. And they still kicked my ass. Big time. They kicked my ass so well that they opened an office for their blog. And they have writers all over the world working for them. And I still am doing a solopreneur kind of thing. But I'm switching over to contests. Anyway, the value of an email list is insane. Somebody asked me the other day, or said to me the other day, said, well, email's dead. Oh, I was reading a thread. That's what it was. It was in one of the Facebook groups, and I don't remember which one, and somebody said, well, email is dead. Why is anybody trying to build an email list? And, of course, we had that conversation of email's not dead, people still using it, and somebody, and I should have done a screen grab, which I didn't do. Probably find it fairly easily, but she said, if email was dead, why do all of the social media companies use your email address as your login ID? Because they're going to send you emails, right? Email's not dead. All the social media companies are still using emails. They notify you of new posts via emails. Of course, you can get text, you can get alerts, whatever. But email isn't dead. Far from it. And if somebody tries to tell you that, they're wrong. I mean, if you look at any brick and mortar business, right? They have people walking by that they're just begging they're going to come in their door. What do? They try to get you to sign up their email list. They're not dumb. They know what's going on. Restaurants try to do that. Ryan has a good point. Ryan, thank you for commenting. You have to keep filtering for buyers after you build that list with your viral campaign. Absolutely. Ryan, you get the bonus points.
Huh?
That's not the right one.
Dad, you're always right.
Dad, you're always right. I keep getting the wrong keys. There we go. That's what I want. So I have these shortcut keys set up to do sounds, and there's not like a post-it note on each key, so I never remember what they are. I can remember this one. Ring the bell, baby. You got to keep filtering for buyers after you build that list. Basically, what you're saying, I think, Ryan, which is incredibly valid, is you have to nurture the list once you get it. And you got to filter out people. Bradley, if you're still here, Bradley and I are very affectionate about this idea. So let me ask this question. Raise your hand if you love unsubscribes. I know Bradley's raising his hand. He's probably doing both hands. Many people, when you first start building your list, it's all about the number, right? The total number of people you have on your list, that vanity metric, you want that to be in the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And I will tell you, and I believe Bradley and other people will tell you, that you don't want that to be a big number if those people are all trash. If they don't care about your product, if they don't care about what you're offering, get them off. Send them an email that says, if you're not interested in this, well, I'm okay with you unsubscribing. And in fact, here's the door. Don't let it hit you in the butt on the way out. It was nice meeting you. I really know that you wanted to win that thing, and I'm sorry you didn't win that thing. And I offered you discounts and other things to buy my thing, and you didn't take it. That's okay. You can stick around if you want, but if you don't want to stick around, I'm okay with you leaving. You don't have to be on my email list for the long term. I would love for you to pay attention because I'm going to give you great ideas on how to run your business. I'm going to teach you about what I'm learning. I'm going to share with you all kinds of knowledge, and periodically I'm going to ask you to buy something. And if you don't buy, that's still okay. I'm going to keep sharing. But if you don't want my messages, take the hike. Go. That's fine. I am perfectly fine with you leaving my email list because that reduces my costs. I'm okay. I want people who are interested in what we're doing. All of you that are tuning in, You know, if you like it, you comment, I appreciate all of those things, but I really want you on my email list because that's where I'm going to be able to continue to hit you. That's probably not the right thing to say, is it? I'm going to give you messages. Of course, you're going to see my Facebook messages, right? Did you see the statistics that were published a few weeks ago? And I published some of them. Oh, that's a great point, Ryan. I'll talk about that in a second. That is a great point. But statistics on the number of business kinds of posts that are being shared on Facebook are dropping through the floor. The statistics from 2018 showed that for a Facebook page, the odds of your post being seen by people who have liked your page are 0.09%. That's not 9%. That's 0.09%, or approximately 1 in 1,000, or 9 in 1,000, whatever. Less than 10 people in every 1,000 are going to see your post. So in order for your post to be seen on your page, you got to have tens of thousands, 50,000, 100,000 people on your page, and you got to get them to comment, you got to get them to share, you got to hit the little love buttons all over the place in order to start getting virality inside of Facebook. But the traditional post is just going to be DOA, dead on arrival. So you got to build your email list because that's the only resource. I mean, how many businesses have you seen that are doing Facebook posts and their attention keeps dwindling, so they keep trying to get more and more people to show up and more people to comment and all of this stuff we constantly are doing? The email list is yours. You can target those people all the time. You can talk to them. If you bring them messages that aren't just buy, then you are going to be building a relationship. And there's an old phrase that the money is in the list. And somebody taught me not too long ago that the money is in the relationship with your list. And that's where you need to be going with your list, is to build a relationship, not just sell, sell, sell. I really appreciate all of you tuning in. Facebook's telling me there's lots of people here, so I really appreciate it, and appreciate that heart that just flew by. Ryan said, so we were talking about filtering the list and the buyers, and this is a really good point, which I don't focus on enough, but it has to do with after, right? After your contest is over, and I tend to focus on the contest itself. Yes, but you also want to upload that filtered buyers list to Facebook so that you can build your retargeting campaign with a custom audience. The rest can be deleted as Facebook AI knows better. I mean, that's a fantastic point. Why, if you're not doing retargeting, and I'm not doing it right now because I'm not doing any Facebook advertising, but I've got a pixel on my contest, and every time somebody enters my contest or comes to my website, they are pixeled, so I can go after them if I need to, when I need to. But if you're not taking your list of buyers or people that have just signed up to your contest and retargeting them, you're missing out on a golden opportunity. Because what do they say, Ryan? Isn't it like 35% of people in retargeting audiences turn around and end up being buyers? And why is that? Because they keep seeing your messages over and over and over, right? As Bradley said in his video that he posted a few minutes ago, it takes 9, 10, 12 times before somebody really understands you and trusts you before they'll buy. You have to keep going after them. You have to keep talking to them. You have to keep offering them value. It is not like just throwing up an iPad and everybody goes, oh, I want one of those. I'm going to buy that. iPad's a great example. Or I'm going to give away cash. Those are going to bring in the wrong people on your list. You don't want those people on your list. They're not going to help you with your Facebook retargeting now, are they, Ryan? Of course not. So all of these factors go into building a great campaign. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm going on a rant talking about contests and what they can do for your business. I currently am running a program called Win Together. WIN is the acronym I'm using for my training programs because winning is fun, right? Contests are fun. They bring engagement. They build all kinds of authority for your business. They bring you targeted leads when you do them right, as opposed to doing them wrong, which is what most people do. And I'm teaching a group of 20 people right now on how to build their contest. And we were going to launch today, but the training part's taking longer. It's the first time I've ever done this program, but they're all freaking excited about how much they're learning and how they're going to take those lessons and build their next contest. We're reviewing each other's contests. We're providing input. It's not like I'm just teaching people and they're going off and doing it. We're building them together, which is the whole key, is to try to get people to build their campaigns together so that they can learn together. I mean, we all have so much more fun. I mean, you remember back to college? Some of you might still be in college. When you worked on a group project and how you hated the group project, but you potentially ended up having more fun and learning more when you did a group project. I think, I hadn't really thought about that analogy before, but I think that's true. I mean, I remember going, ooh, group projects, oh, I don't like those. But then when you thought about it, when you actually got done, I'll never forget, we did a group project that, oh, the memories come flooding back. It's like my senior project in college that was an absolute failure. We were going to write some software to do the traffic light timings for the street in front of our school to make them all be green at the same time. And that was a disaster. We failed on that one. Anyway, I digress. But working together, all the people that are in the program that are actually participating, there's a couple of people that are struggling because they're off having to run their business or their family or their other things. But those that are participating are just all raving about what we're doing because they're getting the kind of feedback that most people don't get when they run their campaigns. If you go build, I mean, can you imagine building your first or second Facebook ad and having some feedback from people that are experts or even people that aren't experts but can give you tips and tricks that they've learned along the way? I mean, what better environment is that than just listening to Mitch blather on over and over about how to run a contest and then going and trying to do it yourself without my assistance, without me answering questions, and without all the other people doing it. So I'm getting hot in here. The heater's running now. It's almost spring here in the United States. So that is, Ryan says, so that is when you started to go into traffic. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. That's really true. I do have this nightmare in the back of my mind because we all had to take an incomplete on that senior project because we just didn't know what we were doing and it didn't make any sense and we didn't have the right people and blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, that is when I first started getting into traffic. That's pretty funny. Thanks for pointing that out, Ryan. Jason's here. Hi, Jason. Thanks for popping in. I enjoy popping in. I enjoy when people respond. I mean, that's one of the other things about doing the Win Together program. I mean, I've done training programs where I stand in front of the computer or stand in front of stand in front of the camera down in the basement, which I built a studio down there. And it gets rather boring because you're just talking to yourself. It's so much nicer to do this Win Together program that we're doing. We're doing it on Zoom, so everybody has an opportunity to ask questions, and I can see their faces, and I can see some of them tuning out, or whatever when I drone on and on and on too long. But each of the classes we've done has ended up being 2 hours or more, which is insane. I mean, the goal was to do each one for an hour, but there's so much good feedback and so many great questions that I'm going to have to figure out the next time I do this how to cut some of this out, because it's just an incredible bargain and it's a great learning experience. The goal was to do 2 weeks of training and then 2 weeks of building, or 2 weeks of training and building, and then run the contest for 2 weeks. So we'd do it all in a month. And the first 2 weeks flew by, and a couple of people said, I'm going to not be able to launch on April 1st. I'm going to launch on April 8th. And therefore, a couple of people are behind, and a couple of people, like I said, have been really busy doing personal things or life things or business. What's that? Business things. So it's taking a little longer, but I'm learning a lot, and I hope that I know they're learning a lot, because I've shared a whole lot of information, and it was way too cheap for what kind of information they're getting. If you think about the value of everything I'm teaching, and I'm being very prejudiced, I think the value of this class is probably close to $2,000. I mean, the amount of knowledge that I have shared with these people is insane. So Ryan says, are you all using the same software for this crowd project? Yes, we're all using upViral. That was part of the idea, was that I was going to teach it using upViral. There are other tools on the market for doing viral contests, but upViral is the one that I know and love the best, and I believe it has the best features, which is potentially part of the problem, is that I've been teaching all of the features, and instead of just making it simple and just getting started, I've gone way too deep into all the different things that you could possibly do in a contest. We have one guy that's going to end up doing a webinar and a giveaway simultaneously. That wasn't the idea. The idea, if you saw the one that I'm building for my wife's product, the idea is a simple, here's the product, enter to win it. I mean, I'm not doing lots of bonus entries. I'm not doing all kinds of extra stuff on the first one, because I would just want to focus on doing the basic. I bit my tongue, sorry. Doing the basics and creating a campaign that just works, and not have a whole bunch of the other stuff. And the next time I do it, we're going to add some things to it. So we're going to build it, in my case, I'm going to build it kind of sequentially, as opposed to throwing the kitchen sink in on the very first time. But what I'm doing is I'm teaching everybody the kitchen sink method, which is part of what I'm doing. So if you're doing a training class the very first time, it's difficult, right? Especially when you have live people as opposed to just doing it in front of a camera. What they're doing is they're giving you feedback. So the deal was, when we set this up, was that we were all going to, we were going to work together. And let me finish answering that question, Ryan. But because we're going to work together, we're going to, I'm giving them a big discount from what I think the value of the process is, because it's first time doing it and I'm learning, and so the next time it'll be a little bit more expensive, and the next time it'll be maybe where I think it ought to be in terms of pricing. Are we using the same software for this crowd project? Yes, the answer is upViral, but everybody is building a contest for their own business. We're not building one contest together. We're building 20 contests eventually, hopefully, together. Hi, Tony. Tony's here. Tony's in the program. In order to work together, though, what I've been asking everybody to do is, once we get our campaigns built, would be to share it with their own audience. And it may not apply, right? I mean, we have one woman that's doing lashes and wigs, and that probably doesn't apply to my audience, but I can share that, and there will potentially be people in my audience that might go, holy crap, I want to win some wigs and eyelashes. I mean, I might find a large audience for her. The key is how you share and where you share, right? I mean, if I share it on my Facebook timeline, I'm more likely to get that. If I sent that offer to my business people or my list of photographers, there could be some photographers that might be doing their own makeup or whatever, and that might appeal to some of them, but the vast majority of them not going to apply. Ken's here too. Ken's also in the program. Thank you, Ken, for popping in. I'm dragging this out a little bit because people keep showing up, and so I keep talking and keep answering questions. Sometimes you go in and you do a Facebook Live and nobody shows up, so you just cut it right off. But I think the program's going fairly well. Ken is the guy that I was talking about a few minutes ago, and why I'm pointing up, I was like, you know, videotape, maybe it would be that way. Ken's the guy that's doing the webinar and the contest at the same time. Fascinating. I'm eager to see how that works. That's not where we intended to go, or where I intended to go with this, but Ken knows what he's doing. We worked on a contest early on last year for him, and I think it worked really well for him. Excuse me. Tony says, can't stay, it's 1 a.m. here. Well, Tony's in the middle of Australia. It's 10 a.m., almost 10 a.m. How did it almost get to be 10 a.m.? That can't be right. Oh my gosh. I've been talking for almost an hour while you people keep listening. So thank you for tuning in and paying attention. And the reason I do this is because I want to be able to talk to people, because especially small entrepreneurs, small business owners that are just getting started, because I think this is a great way to help you build your business. It's not perfect. It's not the ultimate answer. There's still plenty of other things that you have to do in your business. But one of the things we all struggle with is getting leads. And I've been learning contests for the last 5 years. I started offering them to people in the photography video business as a freebie. And my advertising manager said, Mitch, why are you doing that for free? Why are you offering that service to those vendors for free? Because you're providing an email list to them. And I said, what's the value of an email list? Huh? I'll do this one. I know that one now. Huh? Huh? Really? People would pay me for an email list? That doesn't make sense. So I tried it. I asked the first guy if I could build a contest, and I said, it's going to cost you $250. And he said, well, how many leads am I going to get? And I said, well, the last one I did was like 2,000 or 3,000. He says, that's cheap. $250 for 2,000 targeted emails? That's cheap. So the light bulb went off over my head, right? Where's my light bulb sound? I don't have a light bulb sound. I have that one. Light bulb went off over my head, and I started learning more and more and more and more, and I've done over, excuse me, where's my mute button? I've done over 70 campaigns. I've consulted on probably 20 or 30 more, and the more I learn, the more I realize that contests are fun, they're engaging, they build a valid list when done right. As Ryan pointed out, you can use those people to do retargeting. You can go out and nurture them in your email list. You can sell them more stuff. Excuse me. And let me remind you, by the way, that the marketing people tell you that an email list, when properly nurtured, an email on your email list should be worth approximately $1 per month. If you got 500 people on your email list, that should be approximately $500 of revenue per month. You do that for an entire year, that's an extra $6,000 in your pocket. It's all about the money. It is all about the money. I meant to do this one, but my fingers missed. So imagine adding 1,000 people, or 2,000 people, or 10,000 people. You get 10,000 people on your email list, and you're making approximately $10,000 a month. My good friend Tobin Slavin says he has plenty of people in he teaches people how to nurture their lists. Although he's currently doing LinkedIn right now. So he's doing some really awesome training for LinkedIn. If you want some help there, let me know. But Sharita just said, wow, Thank you, Sharita. My good friend Sharita. Never thought about it like that. Yes. Anyway, Tobin's got people that he worked on building their email list that were earning $2 and $3 per email per month. Imagine that. I mean, okay, even if it's only 50 cents per person, if you get 1,000 people, that's still an extra $6,000 in your pocket every year. And if you grow that, you keep doing contests on a regular basis to grow your email list, then your income's going to do what? It's going to go up. And Sharita says, never thought about it like that. Yes, and I appreciate you being here, Sharita. Thank you so much. That's why I get on and I talk about these things, because people don't always understand these things, and it's not perfect world. It's not always $1. Some people it's 50 cents. Some people it's $2 and $3. But it's all about nurturing your list, right? We build an email list and then we kind of go, now what do I do? Now what do I do with it? How do I talk to these people? My wife has that problem. And it's a totally understandable issue. We haven't learned how to nurture our list. We haven't learned how to talk to the people on our list as humans. Even many of the vendors that I have done campaigns for, I sign up, I'm on their email list because I built the campaign, the giveaway for them. And I just left my email on there because I set up in testing, and of course we all do testing, right? But all I see them do is send buy, and they never talk about their products. They don't, shouldn't say never, some of them do, but they don't talk about their products. They don't teach the people why they should use the product. They just say, here it is. It's the best thing since sliced bread. You better buy it. But they don't explain what it does. They don't explain why these people need to have this in their lives. They're always selling features, right? I mean, the photography people are famous for preaching features. Well, it does 600 frames per second and ISO 2000 and blah, blah, blah. And they never say, this is going to make your photographs better because... or this is going to make you a better filmmaker because blah, blah, blah. They just simply say, feature A, feature B, feature C. Don't care about features. You should be telling them and teaching them why they want your thing. And that's true in giveaways. It's true in your email list. It's true in virtually everything else. 10 o'clock. It's been 57 minutes. This is one of the longest Facebook Lives I've ever done. If you have any questions, I'm going to wrap this up because I've been preaching at you, but maybe you seem to like preaching because many of you are still here. So let me know your thoughts if you appreciate this. If you think, Sharita, for example, I've never thought about this, maybe you could tell somebody about it for me and say, hey, you ought to go check out that Mitch guy. He's doing some really cool stuff. And I'm going to learn more about it because I want to grow my business. I want more dollars on the bottom line. Mitch has got some really good points. And I'm not telling you that this is the panacea. It's going to solve all your problems. Not going to do that. But when done properly, a contest can bring you leads that you've never had access to before. Or that you were going to spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads to try to find, when your best friend, all you got to do is ask him or her to share this, and maybe they've got some people that would help you build your business. Emma says, thank you, very informative. My pleasure, Emma. Come back. I'm trying to do these every day at 10 a.m. Central. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I don't always make it every day because I almost wasn't going to do it today because I'm tired. I'm not as focused as I normally would be, but I did it. I have a goal I have a goal to go live every day at the same time to try to help people understand how they can grow their business. That's my goal is to help people. I mean, I have it on this post-it note right here that I could pull off. I remind myself every day, the question is, how can I help you? How can I help you build your business? This is one thing that I have learned how to do, and I believe firmly in my heart down here that this can help you. It's not the perfect answer. Ken will tell you it's not the perfect answer. He's done it, been there, had some successes. But the people that do it often, the people that nurture their list, I mean, you go back to all the gurus and they will tell you that you got to be sending emails to your list. You got to be talking to your list because that's where the money is. And I believe that the money is in your relationship with the list. I'm preaching. I know I'm preaching. Thank you, Sharita, for this comment as well. Absolutely, you've got my wheels running. Turning. I can't read. Troning is actually how you spelled it, but that we all know that the fingers don't always work the way the brain wants us to. But I hope that's what happens. I'm convinced that many businesses, it's not perfect for every business. Not every business is perfect for an email list, although I tend to think that that's probably true. How often do you email clients that have talked to you before and you've served? Are you talking to them on a regular basis? Are you trying to get them to potentially buy something else from you? Maybe some other service that they didn't know you had. Maybe you worked with them a year or 2 years ago and now you're doing something that's better or different that you didn't have before. But I suspect that most of you don't email. And I'm sulking. I'm sulking away. I confess I don't do that either, but the idea just crossed my head as I talk. Why aren't I going back to the customers that I've talked to before? Shame on me. Not doing my own lessons. But your email list potentially is your biggest group of fans. The people that have signed up, asked to be on your list. They want to hear from you. Why aren't you talking to them? Why aren't you telling them things that they need to know? And you don't always have to sell. You could tell them things that will help them in their business. Give them tips. Things that you've learned along the way. It isn't always about selling. It's about the relationship. It's about communicating with them. So, anyway, if you have any questions, if you have any tips that you want to share before I sign off, because it's been an hour and 2 minutes and 45 seconds, thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If there is something that has resonated with you, please let me know. Put in the comments that this or that helped you. If you don't buy anything from me, that's okay. If you don't join the Win Together program, that's okay. Eventually, I hope that I will convince you that this can help you. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. I still love you. I still appreciate you. And I really appreciate the tuning in and the sharing and the 13 thumbs up and the 10 hearts and the 4 smiley laughy faces and the 1 face that I'm seeing here on the screen. But thank you for tuning in. I will try to talk. Let me rephrase that. I will see you again tomorrow. This morning, if you didn't catch the first part, I talked about doing widgets. There's 2 ways of running your campaign inside of upViral, either as a hosted page or as a widget. And we talked about how to do each one of those and why you want to do one or another. And we talked about focusing on your campaign as opposed to distractions. So I think there's a lot of value. And I keep pointing up like that's rewind, right? Go back to the beginning. So the beginning is up. Or maybe it's over there. I don't know where it is. But thanks for tuning in. We will catch you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel here on my timeline. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. 9 a.m. Central Time. And let's see if I can send you away with this.
I had a fun time. Now turn that off.